And I think there's a huge amount of interest. So just how do we make that link?
Yes.
We need to make the bridge to make that happen. So that's wonderful.
And you mentioned about the technology just now, like the mobile phone cases. So how do you think the technology will further, promote the microfinance? Like Kiva thought was a very good technology linkage with microfinance.
Yeah.
What else do you think about in future?
Kiva.org has been an amazingly powerful, it's tapped into an energy and enthusiasm for people in America to make a direct connection with poor people in developing countries. And the amount of enthusiasm has been inspiring to all of us in the industry. And as an organization that shares their vision and mission, we have both informally and in certain cases are exploring ways to collaborate with them. So it's been a wonderful phenomenon to support the microfinance industry. I like to think of technology in two ways. One is to support the poor directly, and one is technology that supports those that are serving the poor. So when we talked about this micro-franchising, this village phone business for poor people, that's an example of supporting them directly. Another interesting program we're working on in Africa, and which we're about to launch in Indonesia, is around how do you actually use the mobile phone. Again, this is the best tool we have today to reach into poor communities, to provide information. Because information is a leveler, it's an empowerer. That's what makes the internet so powerful. How do you give poor people access? So we've been working in Uganda and are looking in Ghana also with the support of the Gates Foundation to identify not only what kind of information the poor are interested in receiving, but how we get that to them in the lowest cost and most efficient manner. So for example, one of the things we found is that micro-entrepreneurs and poor people have been very hurt by a banana rot phenomenon. Banana is one of the main crops that poor people have to earn income. So there's been a banana rot problem. And so we've used the text phone, so it's essentially SMS messages to text people and give them ideas on how they might address that. They've also been very interested in weather. Another phenomenon, particularly in Africa, is if you get sick, there are 4 different clinics you could go to, but you don't know if the doctor's in, if they have the medicine you need, so you could end up potentially going to all 4 or even going to one twice. So how can you send a text message to the clinic to find out who's there and where you can go? This is more an issue of, instead of losing 4 days of work, whether you're self-employed or you have wage labor, how do you continue to do that? So we're looking to replicate that in Indonesia, so it's information.
So using mobile phone to change your life.
Yes.
Start from microfinance.
Exactly, and we're talking about a very basic mobile phone that costs no more than $20. I had a conversation last week with someone, as these smartphones like Blackberries and iPhones and things become less expensive, how we can use those. You can have video streams and media to provide other services. And that's the power of these technologies. But right now, a smartphone is too expensive. It's not rugged enough to survive.
They're going to lower their price and, to have more competition. It's
well,
the good news.
We hope. We hope. But still, the price point has to get down to $40 or less before it can be accessible to a poor person. So.
Yeah, I just think when you talk about this microfinance, it's related to a different business. And different business, and you have different innovation. So I think it's very amazing when people got small capital to think something differently. So I think it's very good too for people to have more social innovation anyway. Right?
Well, I've never met people so innovative and creative as those living on the poverty line. One of the families I met when I was in Indonesia who was using this village phone business, actually their situation really touched me personally. They had children the same age as my own children. One was 5 and one was 3. And the husband lost his job in a poultry farm, a large poultry farm. And so what he had to do was go and collect garbage. This is one of the lowest jobs you can have. Go around door to door and correcting people's garbage. He had moved up and with the help of a friend built actually a garbage collection site. So he, instead of going out and getting it, people who did that now brought the garbage to him and he cleaned and processed that. but that location was also his home. His children climb all over this garbage. They live actually because they were frightened of snakes. Where they had lived before was in the corner of essentially a garbage dump. They've now created something up in the rafters, but essentially it's a sort of lean-to with a bed for all 4 of the family members. I was very touched by this family's story, but they're using the mobile phone business, and they have created this steady source of business. So it's changed their lives in 2 ways. 1, they have more income, but 2, in his business, he said, you know, if I collect metal and the price has gone down, now I have enough capital so I can wait and sell it when the price goes back up. This is a very savvy businessman. He also told us that he has he's thinking about how he grows his mobile phone business. And he was really pushing us. He has his brother go out to the street. So he stays at his home, which is on one of these very tiny back lanes. He has his brother go out to the main road. It's not particularly a busy road. And he sort of sends messages back from people on the road who want to add airtime. So he's already created a little branch office. I use the term office sort of loosely, but there's guys standing by the side of the road to grow the business, and he pays him a fee for the number of sales he makes. And he had this idea, now I need 2 phones so I can take messages from him, but also do messages that I'm managing. The innovation is there. It's just the need for the opportunity. And I think it gives us a new vision of what the poor need. They're not helpless waiting for a handout. They just want opportunity. And there certainly are people who still need handouts, but most people are just looking for opportunity.
Yes, I always think about like Hong Kong and before that in 60s or 70s. We do have many opportunities. That's why we have Li Ka-shing now today, right?
Yeah.
He got many different opportunities to grow up his business until now become a kingdom.
Yeah.
But how about here in Hong Kong, we always talk about not too much opportunity here for different people, especially for those uneducated and the lower profile people, but maybe microfinance is a new tool for them to release the innovative ideas. Maybe they will think different, innovative, nobody do it before, then new idea, new business to develop in their own community even. Maybe it's changed their lives. So you can see it in the rural areas we can do that, maybe in the developed cities like Hong Kong we can do it. Okay, thanks. 聽咗咁多Jennifer 講嘅故事啦，咁我相信好多朋友咧都可能對呢個 microfinance 咧微貸咧喺香港係咪真係可以做到咧，或者喺外國咧可以有乜嘢經驗可以學到咧，都會好有興趣嘅。我哋聽日咧香港社會創投基金咧喺香港小童群益會607室咧就會有呢一個如何微貸如何改變世界嘅研討會㗎。咁如果大家都有興趣咧，可以上我哋嘅網址啦嗰度睇睇個資料，同埋咧可以即時報名嘅。我哋現場咧都可以再繼續咧為大家咧開放呢個研討會咧係一齊參與㗎。Jennifer, what are you going to talk tomorrow in the seminar?
Well, I'm first of all, I just want to thank you and Social Venture Hong Kong for organizing this seminar, bringing people together here in Hong Kong to talk about microfinance. I think that we'll be showing a movie about Professor Yunus, who really is the inspiration for all of us as we think about the power of microfinance, its potential today and tomorrow. And that's what I really like to talk about tomorrow is what is the future of microfinance? I think we've just touched the tip of the iceberg, and the power to use this as a platform to transform lives. We've only just started to realize what is possible. So I'd like to explore those ideas a bit during the seminar and then let others specifically talk about what they're doing today.
Yes. 咁啊，再提一次啦，喺個研討會裏面咧，除咗 Jennifer 之外咧，我哋仲有幾位咧係嚟自喺微貸當中咧唔同嘅持份者，有啲咧就係借錢嘅人，有啲咧就係借錢出去嘅人，咁有啲咧就係希望提供一個喺亞洲或者喺香港用到嘅 platform 㗎。咁如果各位朋友有興趣咧，記住上我哋嘅網址睇睇詳情咧，同埋可以即時報名㗎。咁多謝大家收睇。